I do believe that brighter days are ahead when it comes to Myro, and I think the run is far from over. I think the hype for Solana meme coins is also far from over, and reaching the price of $5 during this bull run, hypothetically speaking, wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. Now, I do want to begin by stating how my throat is just absolutely aching as of right now. When I woke up, like my voice was just like, oh man, it was completely kaka. But you know what? Feeling a little bit better as of right now, but excuse, the raspy or like low voice at times. Besides that point, we still have to talk about Myro because you know what? It's a very amazing meme coin. And people, they usually love like trends, right? We see this time and time again. Usually they move from one thing to another because we take a look at Floki, right? That right there is named after Elon Musk's dog. And that did very well. Much like I predicted, by the way, this is a verifiable fact because even at one point I was down over 90% when it comes to Floki. I still accumulated. It did go up because I did believe in its future. So yeah, that was a very good call. Not to mention, I'm also very bullish on something called Toshi, which is named after Brian Armstrong's cat, Brian Armstrong, the co-founder of Coinbase. So when you take a look at, the next evolution, or should I say the next one people could very well latch onto in a very massive way, could be something like Myro. Why is that? It's because it is named after a very famous figure's, pet dog, right? You take a look at, for instance, Raj Gokal. He is the co-founder of Solana. His dog, right, is named Myro. So this one is basically like commemorating, I would say, right, Myro for Raj Gokal's dog. Now, the reason why I think that this is so special is because people usually love these like pet themed meme coins or like pet name meme coins that are named after like these famous figures, especially in the crypto space. So the way I take a look at it is that Myro is far from over. Now, people like to say that Solana isn't the best layer one blockchain. They think it's not the best place to be for Myro. And granted, there's probably like better options out there in terms of like, a layer one blockchain. But you know what? I think Solana is good enough because if you take a look at Solana, why do I think it's not perfect? First of all, you take a look at, even despite having very amazing gas fees, which are very low, by the way, it's fantastic, right? Also, it's very scalable, it's very fast, very wonderful. But then at the same time, Solana is known for its, alleged network outages, at least historically speaking. Now, allegedly, this has been fixed, but still, this isn't like really the ideal place many people would view it. But in my opinion, it is good enough. And the overall package, the way I take a look at it is that it is good as a layer one blockchain. It's not the best, but I think it's good enough. So the way I view it is that, it's like having an exam, right? You don't need like everything correct to get an A, at least in most cases. So the way I view it is that as long as it's pretty good, then it's good. Like as long as it's like a B or something, you know what I mean? So when I take a look at something like Solana, not the perfect place to be, but it's a good place to be for Myro, and I do really like that. Now, what I do really love about Myro as well is that the community is very passionate because Myro could be doing bad, it could be doing like okay, it could be doing great. The community is going to still be very vocal. They're still going to really believe in it. And this is kind of very difficult to see sometimes nowadays because we see some projects, they do very well. And still, even despite that, the community doesn't really care. The community feels like it kind of ditched the project, even though at times it's doing good, let alone in some cases when it's doing bad or like okay, sometimes everyone just leaves, or at least for the most part it feels like. But when it comes to Myro, that seems to not be the case. Again, could be doing bad, could be doing good, could be doing okay. A lot of people in the Myro community, they still really love it. They're still very passionate about it, and so am I. Because the way I view it is that yes, there's many dog theme meme coins out there. Sometimes I like to say, yeah, we don't really need another one, hypothetically. But you know what? If there's something like this named after Raj Gokal's dog, I'll believe in that. Even though it just may be like a technique or like a tactic to gain like, more marketing. Again, like, hey, we're named after, the co-founder of Solana's dog. Maybe that's the case. But you know what? It works hypothetically because even I'm bullish on, Myro, right? So it doesn't mean that it's like not working at all, if that makes sense. So the way I view it is that when it comes to Myro, again, it doesn't have the biggest community. It's not the most interesting or like flashy meme coin, but it doesn't really matter because I think it has its own place. I think that when it comes to Myro, It is something so unique, and I think the future is very bright. Now, you take a look at the co-founder of Ethereum, Charles Hoskinson, who also happens to be the founder of Cardano. He does predict in the next 1 to 2 years, based on a video that he was a part of on November 26th, he said that he could very well see Bitcoin reaching the price of either $250,000 all the way up to $500,000. So that's $250,000, keep in mind, as like his worst case, potentially or hypothetically, right? That's crazy to think about. I mean, could you imagine if, let's say, Bitcoin were to only, quote unquote, reach that, and let's say not reach 500,000, which I think is way too optimistic, by the way, during this bull run. I'm not talking about like 20 years later. I'm talking like the next 6 months to a year. Yeah, I don't think so. But again, still, let's say Myro is able to get like, a glimpse of that, because as the old saying goes, a high tide raises all ships. If Bitcoin does very well, I don't see why altcoins won't do well as well, much like Myro. So I think that the future is very bright. Would I personally say that, oh yeah, I'm going to go all in when it comes to Myro? No, because I think hypothetically that's not a good idea for me. What I like to do is just dollar cost average. So I need 10% income, just acquire, hold, and I just wait, because I think better days are ahead. And I don't think that Myro is going to be a bad pick for me. The way I view it is that consistency is key, because this is a marathon, not a sprint. And even despite everyone saying, oh yeah, Myro's caca, all this type of stuff, again, I think better days are ahead. And reaching the price of, $5 wouldn't surprise me at all. Considering current circulating supply, market cap at that point would be, nearly $5 billion, which is kind of peanuts in the grand scheme of things. We've seen like Dogecoin reach over 80 billion. We've seen like Shiba Inu reach around 40 billion. So I'm not talking about some crazy outlandish figures here. I'm not saying that Myro's going to go to like a $1 trillion, $2 trillion market cap. I'm not saying that. Again, just around a $5 billion market cap doesn't seem too, bad in my opinion. And what I do really like about, Myro is the fact that it is, again, a meme coin that is not only having an amazing community, but it's also listed in a bunch of major exchanges, which I think is awesome. I'm going to still continue, my best to hypothetically acquire as much as I possibly can. And we'll see, right? I'm still very bullish on it. And I'm still going to continue to acquire because, again, I think it's very amazing. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain. And I'll catch you all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.